Well, I'd rather it go that way if it's going to work out that way. I thought we had growth on the weekend, and that's what's really important. We're still looking at so many players where we're trying to see what their capabilities are, what their IQ is, what their ability is to understand different times of the game and process information and apply that information and do that in the heat of the battle. It's not easy to do. So and it takes time. And again, we're trying to find that out. I thought Saturday we played a pretty complete hockey game. Now, do the players like winning 1-0, and would they rather lose 9-8? I don't know. I'd rather win 1-0, but we'll see how we respond. But I thought we had growth. We were better. We're a better team coming out of the weekend than we were when we went into the weekend. Yeah, we get good looks. We get, I had coffee with the brain thrust of our community. Went in and had coffee with them. I like to go listen to them a little bit on Monday morning, and they told me that we should work a little bit more on shooting, not trying to hit the goalie in the gut. So we'll probably spend a little time on that. I probably haven't emphasized that enough, that it's important to miss that goalie a little bit. And but our guys are working their tails off. They're working their tails off. And the legendary Mike Bossy said, scorers see net and non-scorers see goalie. And a scorer is a scorer. A point guy's a point guy. Not everybody can do the things that Stiven does out there. If they could, they'd all do it, offensively. So, but there's things you can learn, things you can get better at, and things you can apply, and that's what we're trying to, what we hope that we can get the players across, get the point across that we found ways to have success and grow as the year goes on and have success so that we're at our best at the end of the year. I know a lot of people would like to win every game. I play to try to get our team in the best spot to get in the national tournament. And we've had success at that, and hopefully the players can look at that a little bit and that helps buy in a little bit to what we're trying to do. Yeah, like Nadia Comaneci, the old gymnast, what's pressure? You practice it and you do it. I know that's easy to say, but you gain confidence by doing things over and over. It starts in practice, and then you have a performance, and then that's in your hip pocket, and then you go into the next performance, and that's in your hip pocket, and they're all different scenarios. They're different, different opportunities, and it's, you just keep doing it over and over again and stay within what you can do, and the outcome is the outcome. All we can do is control to the best we can our preparation, which, you can't wave a magic wand and give confidence. Right now he has confidence. And I think that's why, people call it the sophomore slump. And we've seen players in every program that have really big freshman year, and then the sophomore year is a bit of a struggle. Or a lot of times you also see it in a senior year where they're all of a sudden they're playing for a contract, and and they're not scoring or they're not getting points right away, and they grip the stick tight and things like that. That's all confidence. I firmly believe the stronger your foundation, and I liken it to, I won't get into my golf swing analogy, but you can say a hitter. If a hitter's got good mechanics and he's hitting line drives, and he's not getting hits, eventually those hits are going to fall in. It's when you're popping the ball up and striking it out and you're not giving yourself any chance. So the better your foundation, the better, the more consistently you're going to play. And right now, Ryan seems to have a good foundation to him. But there'll be challenges, and we'll see how he responds to those and how he bounces back. And, you look at Mankato, the team we're playing this weekend, they got set back a little bit against Northern, a good Northern team, on Friday night. And then Saturday they responded and put up 6 relatively early and showed the team that they're capable of being. So, it's all your foundation, your base, and then things fall into place off of that if you do things the right way. Well, I like everything that he's doing right now. I mean, his role is just growing and growing. He's getting power play time now and things like that. And we were talking about this morning in the office. Kooks' first couple years, I think that Kooks is the type of player that used to really get rewarded, or at least got his self-satisfaction in the game based on his hard work, on his energy, on his ability to create havoc. And I think that at times early in his last couple of years, and I believe I talked to him about this last year. I mentioned to him, take it for what it's worth. But my feeling is you can't mistake hard work for effectiveness. And there's patience involved. There's whether you're the first man on the puck, whether you're the second man on the puck, whether you're the third man in support. And if you just go crazy, like a bat out of heck, oftentimes you take yourself out of plays, and you end up causing more damage. That's where odd man rushes are created, things like that. He's playing with patience now. He's letting the play develop, and he's an intelligent kid, engineering student, and he's learned when to go. He's learned when to read off the play. He's learned when to just see what his teammates able to do, the effectiveness his teammates able to have, instead of going in and trying to, take the battle on himself. Let your teammate see what he can do. Put a little bit on him, and if he wins his battle, someone's going to cover that guy. And if you're the guy that they leave to go cover the guy, chances are you're going to get the puck. And Trevor's doing a good job of that. He's a smart kid that's really figuring it out. I like everything about his game. Everything about his game. And you know what? He has a knack to put the puck in the net. I know this is a reach, but his poise right now is kind of Patrick Kane-like, where he's finding a spot and then letting the puck come to him, and then he's now he's hitting crossbars and goal posts, and when he dials that in, he'll it's only going to get better for him. I'm really proud of Trevor. He's doing a great job. It's coming. It's always for players like that. They're temperamental, and what you're trying to sell them, the package you're trying to sell them, they've got to you got to be selling them the right package, but it's got to help them as well. Now, for a guy like Steven, who's a points producer, is it what's the trade-off that he's willing to do, and what's the benefit to him to do it? You know what I mean? And what I talked to him about, I used to talk to Alex Patan, phenomenal young man. I mean, incredible young man. Brother played in the National Hockey League. He was an All-American. He was a league MVP for us, 40-point guy. But I used to tell him, Petey, you get your 8 chances every night. But if you're a primary involved in 4 or 5 against, if you can get those primaries down to 0 or 1 with those 8-4, you have a chance. You know what I mean? You have a chance. But if not, what's going to keep them from putting a 6'2" European guy in a lineup that, gets those same scoring, everything's the same, and they feel, okay, we can work with him a little, he's more size, da-da-da-da. That's kind of what happened to Petey. Now he's went over to Italy and Italian descent and played in the Olympics for Italy and things like that. Great player. But didn't hit in the American League or the National Hockey League at his size and things like that. With Steven, I feel with him, when he gets a completeness to his game, if he can, he'll start out in, there's 2 things I think that Buffalo needs, which is what drafted him. Buffalo, first of all, they want high-end character. They can't afford with the today's salaries and things like that. They got to hit home runs with guys. So they can't have any disruptions in the locker room and selfishness and things like that. So you got to be a good team guy. With Steven's been that with us, and then you have to have some completeness to your game, because they can't afford. You better be really skilled for a team like that because they're kind of like us, where you need everybody on deck. He might start out as a 3rd line guy or even a 4th line guy if he were to get that chance. What's going to keep him up there if he doesn't have that whole complete game to him, if he's not putting up points. And if he's putting up points, he's not 3rd or 4th line guy, but is he going to be good enough? At what point, or if ever, is he going to walk right in and be in a top 6 guy? So I think it's in his best interest to learn the complete game, because when he does that, he'll figure out, again, his offense will come off of his he'll get his offense that he always gets. But then when he gets offense off of defense, when he's creating offensive chances off of defense, off the forecheck, off of this, and he's pretty good at it. Let's be honest, he's been a really good player for us. He's not involved in a ton of scoring chances against and things like that. So I think he's really doing a good job. I feel part of our thing is not to be selfish and just play to win, but to really let the guys know we're trying to help them in achieving their dreams. Because I want them, when they walk away from Michigan Tech hockey, first of all, you hate to be a player's last coach. You never want to be a player's last coach. You always want somebody else to be that last coach. But when they leave here, you want them to be prepared for the next step. And part of preparing them for the next step is, allowing them opportunity to, when they walk away from the game, I want them to know, hey, listen, I reached my limit. I knew that when I walked away from the game, got way more out of my ability than I had. Fear, failure, whatever. But when they walk away from the game, I want them to know that in their heart, I don't want them to be sitting around a bar someplace down the road and, knee injury knocked me out if I would have been a pro or living through their kids. I want them to know what it takes and put that as part of their life, and that's part of their growth. Rubbed off on him. I don't know if he has. I think Logan's smart enough to know that if I just let Stiven do his thing and I get someplace, where that puck could go, and then park myself there, and not drift around and play too perimeter, that when it gets on my stick, I'm a big wide body that pretty good around that area, and I think he's played off of him, but I don't know what has he learned off him. He's learned, get open and let him do his thing, and be happy with getting my goals. So they're pretty complete. They got a really good defensive core with mobility. You're looking at Muir, who I think is a tremendous player, and he blends in well with Bellini and those other guys they have. They have a really good, efficient defensive core. They have very good goaltending. Tracy, I believe, tremendous goaltending, and they have, Pitlick has been a huge pickup for them because he's, I believe he's the Gophers' leading scorer last year. Huge pickup for them because he's a scorer, and that takes a lot of heat off. And then they have enough hangover still, I think, in a lot of ways from guys that were left behind that have been in national tournament hunts and things like that, and they know how it should be done, and they're doing that. I think they're Grohl and those guys, I think, are doing a really good job of emerging and playing the game the right way, hard and competing. So you have to meet their compete. And then you certainly have to defend well. They transition well, and then it comes down to special teams. You have to be good in special teams, goaltending, and things like that. So, I think it'll be a really good series. I think we're both really good teams. They seem to have every element. I think they're a lot like Bowling Green. I mean, not Bowling Green. Well, you can throw Bowling Green in there too, but I think Bemidji's like them. There's just a lot of depth at every position, and a lot of. I like Lake State last weekend. I like Northern when we played them. They played us tough as heck, and they played Mankato tough as heck. I think they have a overtime, a win and a tie or shootout win or something over Mankato. So there's great balance in our league. But I think there's a lot of teams that are in that hunt. It's going to be a good playoff, I think. We haven't seen Augustana yet, but they're doing a good job. So. I think every weekend now you have to be at your best, and on any given night see how it goes. And I think there's a lot of parity. It means two things. Number one, it means that we've had a lot of great players, had a lot of great support from our administration, worked with a lot of tremendous coaches. The other thing is that we've had enough success for me to get a couple of contracts. You know what I mean? Like, we've had a couple of success. We've had enough success, so I've been here long enough to coach in enough games but this is a team thing. It's not an individual thing. Just happened to be around long enough. I could have 150 wins and 300 losses. Probably wouldn't last as long, so probably wouldn't get the 150. So just means we've been able to stay around a little bit of time. As Mel Pearson called me last week, and what did he say? He said, you're still bluffing those guys, those people up there, aren't you? Or you're still, I don't know, still throwing a smoke screen or something, he said. So I said, yeah, I guess I am still bluffing these people. Still got them fooled.